Here's an official ranking of the most toxic blonde characters from Gossip Girl. Keep in mind, a lot of the characters from this show were incredibly chaotic, but these were the blondes who stood out compared to others based on how toxic they were. Eva Coupeau. The least toxic blonde was Eva, but she wasn't completely innocent. She was a delightful and caring love interest for Chuck Bass, but she did also lie about her history, which is the definition of toxic. If Eva had told Chuck the truth about the fact that she used to work as a professional escort before Blair tried to sabotage her relationship with Chuck, there's a chance Eva and Chuck would have been able to stay together. Lola Rhodes. Lola is another blonde from Gossip Girl who wasn't as toxic as you might think at first glance. But when you consider how bitchy and rude she was to Serena, then you might change your stance and opinion. Serena did her best to try and make Lola feel welcome and accepted, but Lola continually gave Serena the cold shoulder over and over again. There was no reason for her to have treated Serena so poorly. Lola was also a liar. Granted, she lied about where she was attending college to pursue her dreams behind her mother's back, but that doesn't take away the fact that she bold-faced lied to her mother on a daily basis. Olivia Burke. Olivia is another blonde from Gossip Girl who you might not think of as the most toxic character from the show, but she definitely still had her flaws. One red flag was how quick she was ready to play the role of a snarky Hollywood starlet in front of Dan Humphrey's parents as a defense mechanism after she thought they were already prejudging her. And as a reminder, she's the one who pushed the narrative of having a threesome with Dan and Vanessa Abrams, even though that was a horrendously terrible idea. Dan and Vanessa were willing to drop that idea off the bucket list, but Olivia insisted. Lily Vander Woodson. Now we're starting to veer into the truly toxic zone with Lily. She made so many mistakes as a mother to Eric and Serena, it's laughable. Her reaction to Eric coming out of the closet was horrible. She didn't treat the aftermath of his self-unaliving attempt properly either. It seemed like she was constantly reminding him about how much shame he brought to their family name while he was in the Ostroff Center. Another toxic thing Lily did was sending an innocent man to prison after accusing him of statutory essaying Serena. She was also toxic for reconciling with William Vander Woodson after all the BS he put her, Serena, and Eric through. He was the type of man who was willing to abandon his entire family. On top of that, he lied about the longevity of Lily's cancer diagnosis. Serena Vander Woodson. Serena is more toxic than her mother, and it's pretty easy to understand why. For starters, one of the worst things she did was helping Nate cheat on Blair at the Shepard wedding after Nate previously promised to save his virginity for Blair. Serena got drunk and went after Nate without any regard for Blair's feelings. It was incredibly selfish. When she went head-to-head against Blair to sabotage Blair's chances of getting accepted at Yale, that was pretty damn toxic as well. And none of that even touches on the fact that she had such a long list of boyfriends and flings under her belt. Sure, dating around is perfectly normal when you're young, but Serena's list was excessively long. Jenny Humphrey. As far as toxic blonde-haired Gossip Girl characters go, Jenny doesn't come in first place, but she certainly caused some chaos. She was a real piece of work, especially for her father, Rufus Humphrey. Attempting to file for emancipation, constantly playing the victim, getting into the drug-dealing game, stealing a dress from Hazel's mother's closet, bullying Eric Vander Woodson, and hooking up with Chuck Bass were just a small handful of the incredibly toxic things Jenny did along the way. Ivy Dickens. It shouldn't come as a shock at all that Ivy lands in first place for being the most toxic blonde on Gossip Girl. She was hired to play the role of Charlie Rhodes, but she got hooked on the glamorous lifestyle she saw unraveling around her in New York City. Ivy was always a low-level actress from Los Angeles, but she weaseled her way into wealth by figuring out how to inherit tons of money from Cece Rhodes. She tried to edge Lily Vander Woodson out of her penthouse, and she even started hooking up with Rufus Humphrey. Everything about Ivy was problematic, which is why she comes in first place for being the most toxic blonde on Gossip Girl. Which of these blonde Gossip Girl characters was actually the most toxic in your opinion? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below.